Boy, stay out of that water. No, I'm not talking about no virus. There's more to fear out there in the water than some virus. I've seen things that'll make you wish it was just some virus. I used to be a diver, you know. You didn't know that, did you? Well, it's true. And I was good at it too. Real good. I was fast, and I knew how to hold my breath. I'll be damned if it wasn't the joy of my life at one time. And I'll be damned if I don't miss it. You see, I was a daredevil in those days, a risk taker. I liked to see how deep I could go, how long I could stay there. Scare the girls back up on deck, and then console one or two of them when I came back up safe and sound. But of course, that kind of thing took practice, and for that, I would head out on my own. Of course, I know now it was stupid. I know now why they tell me never to go alone. But I was young. I was stupid. God almighty, was I stupid. It was a fine day for diving. You couldn't ask for a more perfect condition. I was almost tingling as I took my boat out to the brand new spot I've been waiting to explore. I've been nearby, you know, and the section is where it's shallower. But this spot was a bit further out, deeper. I couldn't begin to imagine what I might find there. I found a good spot to stop the boat and finish suiting up. Soon enough, I was all ready to go. Weren't nothing left but to dive in, so that's what I did. Right away, it was like Atlas, falling real slow down the rabbit hole. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was so close to another place I'd been before, and yet everything looked so different. None of the seaweed looked the same as it reached up for me and swayed from side to side. There were fish I've never seen before, darting all around as I scared the bejesus out of them. If I weren't underwater, the sight would have been breathtaking. And yet, there was still more to come. Down and down I floated until the dark sand at the bottom came into sight. This caught my attention more than anything else. I expected smooth sand, maybe a few rocks. Instead, what I found was a kind of stony-looking ridge, like the beginning of a little mountain range. It was about 6 feet long and perfectly straight. In hindsight, I'm not sure why it puzzled me when I first saw it. I think I had some kind of feeling about it. Something about it just wasn't right. Well, for that moment, I struggled with myself. I was an explorer, remember? I like to explore. Get in there and touch everything. Experience everything. So what was it about the ridge that was bothering me? It was about halfway through this fight I was having with myself that I realized another thing. There weren't nothing alive that would have come near that ridge. No fish came by, no snail, no nothing. Even the seaweed seemed to stop growing a few feet around it. That's really got me wondering. What the hell was this thing? Did it discover a volcano or something that no one knew about? The water wasn't warm like I expected around a volcano. So finally I gave in. I was just too curious. I told you, I was stupid. I hovered over the ridge. The plan was just to tap it lightly on the foot. Slowly I inched closer and closer until finally I made contact. It was soft. It wasn't made of rock at all. But I had barely any time to be shocked by that. Suddenly it felt like an entire ocean floor began to shake. I panicked and headed toward the surface. Up and up I swam. The seaweed shivered all around me and the fish ran frantic. At last, my head broke the surface of the water and I gulped the biggest breath I'd ever taken. And then, silence. Everything was still. I looked around me. Nothing seemed to be different on the surface. Nothing was out of place. Things seemed normal, in fact. Then I laughed. I relaxed then. Whatever had happened, it couldn't have been a big deal, right? Some weird trick of nature, right? So, after a few more gulps of air, back in the water I went. Down and down again I floated. The seaweed swayed and the fish schooled about. Finally the bottom came into view. The ridge was not as I left it. And there it was. I can still see it, giving me the shivers to remember. A pupil big enough to sit in, a dark gray iris, a ring of stark white, and finally the ridge itself split in half to the top and bottom of it all. Quick as a missile, I was back up to the boat. I didn't think my heart slowed down until I finally reached the shore. For years I've tried to forget what I saw, but I never have. Some nights, it still haunts my dreams. That's why you'll never catch me near that water. No, sir, never again.